The cornerstone for St. Luke's Church building was laid in the fall of 1899. Construction began on the east end of the building, and the first section was completed in November of 1900. And there was a special service that celebrated the opening of this. My understanding is that they would curtain off the end of the building and actually hold services in the part that were built. Over the next 10 years or so, successive segments of the building were constructed, and construction was completed around 1910 with the addition of the bell tower. And services have been held continuously in this building since that time. Over the years, St. Luke's has been a part of the fabric of Red Deer. It has always offered a place of meeting for people and a place for the community to gather for various events, including musical events. And that's something that we continue to this day. It's a lovely building for its ambiance and its musical qualities as well, too. It's been a lot of different ministry over the years. In the early years, I would imagine it really focused on the work of the church within the community itself as being a sort of almost a social institution that the city depended on. Certainly times have changed. There's a lot of other churches and other organizations in town that fill that role. People's lives have changed too, and we don't do things the way that we did them 100 years ago, that's for sure. I know in the history of this church, people were sort of tied to it, families were tied to it. We still have families today who look back and remember their times coming together to this particular church, and are very happy to reflect on those days. So it must have been good times that they had here. There's really interesting old photographs that you can look at with choirs, both sort of junior choirs and senior choirs, all processing in their robes, and there's even some where I think they wore, some of them would have worn sort of mortarboards on their head, but certainly a change in the way that we do things these days. Still wear choir robes, but I guess headgear is optional these days. The church has always lended a hand to the community that it is a part of, and that tradition continues to this day. We look at what other people are doing in the community as means of reaching out and helping others, and we lend a hand to what they're doing often. It makes more sense to be of assistance to somebody like the Salvation Army when they're doing their Christmas campaigns, to be able to supply them with some people power to be able to do these things, or other agencies within town. So our people tend to be really busy through other agencies. They come here, they're fed and strengthened, and then sent out to do the work that they're called to in the world. Currently, one of the projects that we've been able to partner with is the Red Deer Dream Center. And we've had a group of people who worked very hard putting together crocheted blankets for people that'll be going through the programs at the Dream Center. A gift to them when they come, and something that they can take with them when they leave, but something that they can sort of wrap themselves in and know that somebody created something for them in love to be able to take with them into the world, and hopefully be able to share that love with others. One of the other projects that got us a little bit of press, I guess, over the last couple of years is what we called our Poppy Project. And that was a way of showing people who we remember on Remembrance Day, on November 11th, that we're still here, we know that they're still there, and that we care and we respect and honor the sacrifices that were made by people in the world wars. So we had a lot of the same people who did the blankets or were part of that project were involved in creating all these knitted and crocheted poppies, bright red things that we put on netting and hung down the walls of the bell tower of the church. And it was really quite striking. It's not up for long. The Legion has rules about how long poppies are to be worn. And so we consulted with them and made sure that they weren't up too early and they weren't up too long after Remembrance Day too. But the number of social media posts that we got and how far and wide we heard that the photographs have been circulated were quite mind-boggling, actually. And it's good to know that something that's happening sort of down in the heart of Red Deer is making an impact, not only in Red Deer, but throughout the province, throughout the country, and even further away. So it's kind of neat to be part of something like that. What does the future hold for St. Luke's? Well, there's certainly challenges ahead. I don't think we're any different than any other church or other community organization in that regard. Pandemic was hard on community groups. We're primarily volunteer-based, and volunteerism in general took a real hit because of the pandemic. It's slowly returning, but we know that in terms of people who worship here on a regular basis, we're not back up to our pre-COVID numbers yet. And so we struggle in that sense. But we forge ahead and we make tough choices about what we're able to do and what we're able to not do. And that's probably a good thing to do every now and then anyhow, because it helps us to recognize that sometimes we stretch ourselves a little bit too thin, and a little bit of regrouping can help us to be more effective. There's an old saying that you should do better to do one thing well than many things poorly, and I think that pandemic gave us a bit of a reality check and has forced us to be able to go back and make some decisions about how we want to proceed. So, however, that being said, we know that much of whatever it is that we're called to do in the future will be based on reaching out to others and being of assistance where we can be. It's something that just seems natural to the people who congregate here. They're giving, lovely people, and they want to share their talents as widely, and in particular if it benefits others and helps other people to be able to thrive.